Welcome to my dive into the Controller Saboteur and how, if you have it, this saboteur could be holding you back creatively. A couple of questions for you first. Are you the one who is holding it together all the time for yourself and for everyone else? And do you worry that if you don't keep a tight grip on everything all the time, then it will all fall apart? If you said yes, that is potentially a controller saboteur at work. Now, if you have a controller saboteur, you will have some amazing strengths. You will likely be confident, decisive, happy to challenge yourself and others. You'll be able to do the right thing, even if it's unpopular. Basically, you are the person that everyone wants to have in a crisis. But not every situation is a crisis. And sometimes softer skills like empathy or patience or vulnerability are needed. And when those controller saboteur strengths are used when they are not needed, that can come across as overbearing, controlling, and at times intimidating. So how does all of that impact your creativity? When I've worked with creatives with a controller saboteur, I've typically seen it manifest strongly in terms of their creativity in two main ways. The first is the impact it has on other people, in that someone with a controller saboteur has a tendency to dominate creative spaces, and that doesn't leave much room for other people to share their creativity or be vulnerable. It's almost like, despite their intentions, they create a space where others shut down because they know that the person with the controller saboteur is just going to swoop on in there, take charge, and do it their way, which can feel very disempowering for others and very stifling in terms of co-creation. The other way I've seen it manifest is that same process I've just described, but in relation to themselves. So people with a strong controller saboteur are, aside from being exhausted, because you're trying to control everything all the time, which is exhausting, they are terrified of letting themselves be vulnerable. And that makes it incredibly difficult for their creative spark or inner child, or whatever you want to call that creative part of you that wants to come out and be creative and play. It makes it hard for that part to come out and be silly and make mistakes and fail or explore something different to what everyone else expects from you on the surface. Basically, the controller saboteur makes it hard for you to show your vulnerable side because you are protecting yourself from potentially being rejected or belittled or laughed at. And so your vulnerable side isn't allowed to come out and express itself. But here's the thing. When we as an audience respond to something creative, it's usually because it's coming from an authentic and vulnerable place from the person who's created it. And that is why this saboteur needs addressing, because it can negatively impact your creativity by stopping you from being vulnerable, from stopping you from being authentic, from stopping you from being seen for who you really are, your wonderful warts and all. And that is the person who is really interesting to know. So what's the alternative? It is to keep your amazing super strengths of confidence and your ability to step into action, but to be able to blend that with what is hidden beneath the surface, to be able to show your vulnerable side, your playful side, your empathetic side, your silly side. And when you can mix all of those qualities together, then you'll have more tools in your creative toolkit to create more authentic and more amazing art. So that's an introduction to the Controller Saboteur. If you want to learn more about the other saboteurs or find out tips for being able to turn the volume down on those saboteurs so they're not operating at volume 10 but at volume 2 or 3, feel free to follow me and check out my other saboteur videos.